Well, it's really great to be here and to see so many old friends celebrating Pearcey and his achievements and indeed the legacy I think he's left. Look, when I was thinking about what to say today, I was coming back on the train this afternoon from Newcastle. It made me think a lot about something else that I'm also associated with, the Royal Society in London, and I was reading a book at the weekend talking about its original foundation in 1660, so it's well over 350 years old. And one thing you take home when you read the origins of the Royal Society is it was a group of like-minded individuals, Robert Hooke, Christopher Wren, Newton, tremendously well-known people today, but they weren't in there, if you like, for just science and science's sake. They were in there to really kind of be ingenious, to run experiments, to do different things. And in fact, the motto of the Royal Society is verbatim in nullus, which means basically don't believe anything anyone tells you. All right? And what that means is you should go out, build buildings, build computers, build a different society, think about what you're doing, experiments, and really push the boundaries of what's out there. And it really, in many senses, the Royal Society founded modern science, because it didn't just do the traditional thing that was done in science about philosophy. It actually said, run experiments, speak in plain English, understand what the impact is of what you've done. They were the first people to introduce publications, scientific publications, the first to introduce peer review, a whole range of things now that we take for granted as part of everything that we do in modern science. So when you think about the Royal Society, you think about lots of heroes like, again, Newton, Darwin, and a range of other people. And to many respects, I put Trevor Pearcey in that category. He is this kind of Royal Society person in the sense that what he was really about was not just doing good science, and he was a physicist when he started, but the application of that, first in radar, secondary in computing, and then actually taking it out there and really making something of what there is. And you're going to hear after me a much more detailed history of Trevor himself. But it left a legacy. It left a legacy about taking good science, taking good research, and having an impact in society. And for me, that is the meaning, that is what science should actually always be about. So when I think about what I do now in my own office, Mary O'Kane, who was my predecessor, did an amazing job really getting the Office of the Chief Scientist in New South Wales connected with government, connected with policy, and as a consequence, really leveraging the kind of support that we now provide to universities in New South Wales. So you've seen some of it downstairs in the NCRIS facilities and things like that, and that's very important. But something I'm very keen to bring to the whole science proposition in New South Wales is the fact that what we do in the future should be about translation. It should be about not just doing great things in quantum computing or quantum sensing, but converting that into commercial outcomes, prosperity outcomes, so that we can all kind of benefit from what's going on. Very much in the tradition and in the mould of what Trevor Pearcey managed to achieve in what he did. So I think that is a real future for where we should be going in this area, and Ben will know that I now go around ensuring that everybody takes me up on these kinds of offers. So I come back now to Trevor Pearcey and the Trevor Pearcey Awards as well. So I also was a recipient of the Pearcey Awards so long ago it was actually relatively easy to get one. Okay, it's much harder now. And one thing I remember from that is the camaraderie that we have. So in fact, ever since then, and many of you, there are many people in the room who have also won the award in the past, we meet annually to have this kind of dinner where you all turn up, you bring some drink, the food's provided for free, you sit down, you talk about not just the science, but the commercialization of it. I look back and I look at many of the award winners, and many of them gone on, indeed as Joe has, to found companies to really get these prosperity outcomes. So the awards themselves kind of capture the kind of outcomes of science, and it's a great event. I often think, or I thought on the way back on the train, these kind of Pearcey dinners to me are a little bit like that, November cloudy day in London in 1660 when Christopher Wren brought together a whole group of people to change the way science is done. And I think today we celebrate that, and we celebrate it with many people who I think would like to see not just what we have done in this area, but what we could do in this area out into the future. So this is a great event. Thank you very much for having me.